I'm with noted author, playwright, poet, journalist and teacher of literature, Shreekumar Varma. And I love that phrase, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and a silver pen in his hand. So, you know, connecting to that, did literature and writing run in the family?
I think so, because first there was music. Swati Tirunal, who is a very noted composer, he is from our family. And then there is a grand uncle who used to be called the Kalidasa of Kerala, Kerala Kalidasa. And after that, of course, the artist Raja Ravi Varma, who's sort of encompassed all art, and a lot of theatre and cinema owed much to his concept of womanhood and gods and things like that. But as far as I am concerned, I think my grandmother was an avid reader. My mother, she is a writer. She has written short stories and published short stories, and she was the immediate influence, actually.
So, were stories read to you in Malayalam or English?
Both. That was, again, I was fortunate because my father brought in the Kerala side of the Malayalam side of literature, and my mother gave me the Western influence. So that was a happy harmony which was always there.
So what genre did you start writing in first? I know you wrote when you were 12.
12, 13.
So what did you write?
That's
a play?
Actually amazing thing, because I actually started writing a novel. I wrote a novel based in an Egyptian mystery, and it went out to about 3 or 4 notebooks. And I had written it down by hand, 13 years old. And I didn't have anybody who would read it. So what I did was I went to my grandmother. She had ruled Travancore for about 7 years, and after that she was in Bangalore, and she was in this one single room, and she didn't have anywhere else to go, so she became my captive reader. I used to sit there and read out my novel. So she encouraged me a lot, basically because she had nothing else to sort of tell me, because we were cloistered in that room and I was reading out and she had to listen to me. And she was the one who sort of encouraged me, and she made me aware of the family history. So that is one interesting thing that I could get from her, the family history, and she was the one who gave me this material which later, years later, decades later, went into the writing of my first novel, Lament of Mohini.
That's this book we're talking about here. So when you were growing up, Shri, were you aware of this illustrious ancestry of yours? Or was it so much a part of your life that you only realized it when you grew up?
I think so, because it was so much a part of our lives. And our family, it's not like the other royal families in the sense there's no ostentation, nobody ever talked so much about it. It's a very simple day-to-day life. So whenever we went to the temples in Kerala, that's when there was this festive occasion, and you realized that you were part of an important part of a great tradition and things like that.
So you were not a spoilt brat. You only became that later.
Yeah, I was a spoiled brat, but not because of my ancestry. That everybody has the natural right to become a spoiled brat. I was a spoiled brat.
He's been made a spoiled brat by his lovely wife Geeta, who's one of the nicest and most tolerant and patient women I know.
Actually, when you first mentioned it, I thought you said spoiled rat. That's why I said it.
Trust you to say something like that quickly. Well, Shri, how autobiographical? It's a very cliche question, but when I read Maria's Room, it's metafiction, you know, it's like...
What is metafiction?
Oh, don't you quiz me now, you know. It's about the process of writing. It's the life of a writer who goes to Goa and moves between the past and the present. So.
That is metafiction, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about writing. It's a book about writing, right? He just wants to embarrass me. He wants to see if I know the meaning, because I've used a big word according to him. And this lament of... Did I pass the test first?
I didn't pass it first. How can I give you marks?
Anyway, getting serious. And Lament of Mohini is about 5 generations of an Nambudiri family and an aristocratic family, right? So that I would imagine that there's a lot of you in both. Is that?
It's not just because of that, but because every writer, I think the first novel, the first work generally has a lot of him or herself in it. So I think that's how it happens. But Maria, it's got a lot about me because it is about a writer. So that part of it is very true to the explorations of a writer, the searching of a writer, going after material and a lot of conflict within as you search for things to write. And it mirrors a lot of my own travels, journeys as a writer.
But there's a lot of pain in this book.
That's mine. It's a very painful life that I lead. So it's part of my
Well, do you inflict pain or is pain inflicted on you?
No.
Your influence is rubbing off on me now.
Okay.
Anyway, so but I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and I read this many years ago, and I enjoyed your Parsi Raja very much. I want to ask you what you thought of the film, but shall we just leave it?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. What did you think of the film?
I loved the film.
I
loved the film, but the ending was completely different. That was their ending, because maybe they wanted to make it a cinematic thing, which is something which I totally agree, in the sense of when you go on to a new medium. For example, if I write a play and somebody takes it and makes it into a stage-worthy sort of thing, performance, I leave it entirely to them, because that's not my turf. So basically, these people could take the liberties they did as a cinema
But
group.
it was factually okay.
But factually, it's wrong. So that is where, if you make a historical thing, there you have to do a little bit of or you have to tell the audience that, okay, this much is fiction, that the rest of it is history. So here I went to a lot of pains going and interviewing the family, Parsi family, and then getting a lot of records and things like that.
This is really a must read for everyone, but young people particularly. Shri, I'm very interested in talking about the whole discipline of writing, but shall we do that after a short break?
Yeah, what's happening during the break?
I think we'll finish our drink.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll sort of rehearse what we're going to talk after that.
Fine.
No,
Okay.
that's not true. We'll see you in just a bit.